Hey guys, it's Allie, and today we are going to be doing a book haul part 2 because if I had done it in full, it probably would have been about 40 or 50 minutes long, not gonna lie. Like, just in this part alone, in this second part, I have around 18 books to show you. For that reason, I'm not really going to get into like the synopsis of any of them. I'm just going to really just show you them and talk about them a little bit, but like synopsis wise there's not going to be really much talking at all, so hoping to shorten this video a little bit by doing that. But the first two books I have to show you are Scent and Sabotage. These are books 2 and 3 of the Missing series by Margaret Peterson Haddix. I do not own any of the other series, but these were really cheap on Book Outlet, so I got them. It is about like time travel, but like it's also about like the past and learning about history and all that. And I loved this series growing up, so I'm hoping to get back into it. So that's kind of why I am starting to build up my collection of the series so I can reread it and relive it, because it's really what made me want to learn about history was the series. So I am really interested in rereading the series, so hopefully I can get to this kind of soon, hopefully. I don't know. The next book I picked up was The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I got this at a bargain shop for a couple dollars, and I have been wanting to read more thrillers, like ever since I've started reading Night Film, so that's kind of why I picked this one up. I've wanted to read it for a while. I've wanted to watch the movie for a while, so figured I could go ahead and grab this. So I saw it and I grabbed it. Very excited to have this. The next book I got was The Beast is an Animal by Peter Nell Van Arsdale. This is a book I received in a Page Habit unboxing, which should be up by the time this video gets up. And I just have no idea what this book is about because it was just sent to me in it. But it's really cool. Like, I love the cover, and it has stuccoed edges, and you know, it seems kind of interesting. I have no idea when I'm going to be able to get to this, but hopefully it can happen by probably not till next year, let's be honest, because the year's almost over, but I will be getting to it in a couple of months probably. The next book I received was Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. This was sent to me by Penguin Random House for review, and I am really excited to hopefully read this soon. I read like a couple pages of it when I got it, and it seemed like it was really good, and you know, of course it's Leigh Bardugo, so I have to read it. So I'm very excited to have this, and I'm definitely going to be reading it before the end of the year, and the review is going to be up on my blogs, which is linked down below, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The next book I picked up was Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. This is a book that I have heard quite a few things about for like the past year or two. Especially now it's coming back up because the sequel was just released, which is The Empress, and I am really interested in this. It has a really cool premise of like these diabolics are like specifically created to guard a certain person, and one of these diabolics ends up having to impersonate the person she cares about most. So it's got a really interesting premise. I've heard pretty mixed things about it, but I'm very excited to hopefully get to this soon. The next book I ended up picking up is Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. This is a book that I honestly did not know anything about it, but my grandma got it for me. To my understanding, it's a sequel to like The Shining kind of, which I have not read, so like I can't read this until I read that, but I have been wanting to read more Stephen King, so it's kind of perfect that she got this for me. So now all I have to do is get a copy of The Shining and I'll be good. So I am very excited to hopefully get to this sometime in my lifetime because dang, it is huge. The next book I ended up picking up was Animal Farm by George Orwell. This is a book that I've wanted to read for quite a while, and it was really cheap at this used bookstore that I went to with my girlfriend, so it was just a super good find. I think it cost like $2.29, so I am very excited to have this. It's really short, so I can get through it pretty quickly, and I'm hoping to read this before the end of the year, so fingers crossed. I also ended up picking up The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, and I have already read this. I really loved it. Like, it's one of my favorite books of this year, and I'm just glad that I have this. It's a children's classic that I had not read, so I am very excited to have this. Where I got it at the used bookstore, it was very cheap. So I am very just happy that I got this because, oh, it's so good. So good. The next book I got is actually a bind-up of 2 of the Sherlock Holmes series, and that is A Study in Scarlet and The Sign of Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This was another book I got at that used bookstore, and I saw it. It was like really cheap, so you know, I got it. I have been really interested in Sherlock Holmes recently for some reason. Probably the winter season makes me want to read like mystery type things. And you know, this is probably going to be a pretty quick read for me. I'm usually good with that kind of thing. So I'm very excited to have this. The next book I ended up picking up was Night Film by Marisha Pessl. This is a book I've been trying to make my way through recently. It's very slow. I'm only like halfway through it. Now, I haven't read it in like a week, but I really have been enjoying it from what I've read. It is mixed media, so there's like articles and pictures and things inside of it to go along with the story and really help it along. And I've been really enjoying it so far. It is adult, it's a suspense thriller type book, and I'm really enjoying it. So hopefully I can finish this very soon because I just really want to see what happens at the end, because at this rate my sister's gonna definitely finish it before me. The next book I ended up picking up is Alice in Wonderland. This is the Disney novelization of the movie, and it was just something I randomly saw at a bargain store, so I picked it up, you know, because I'd never seen it. And I'm very glad I have this because I love the movie. I love the original Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And I think it's going to be interesting to see it in novel format and compare it to like the movie, which I know it's supposed to be like exactly like the movie, but you know, there might be changes. So I'm very excited to get to this very soon. It's not really a priority. The next 2 books I ended up picking up are collections of Edgar Allan Poe's tales and his poems. This only has a few of them, but this one has all of them. I ended up picking this up at a used bookstore because it was a really pretty edition of it. And this I just saw at like Goodwill, and it was like a couple dollars. So I got this for myself, and I'm very excited to have this because I love Edgar Allan Poe, and I've been wanting to get a collection of his stories for a really long time, so I'm glad I finally have it, and I'm just so excited to pick my way through these and reread my favorite ones, and it's just going to be a grand old time. The next book I ended up picking up is Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There by Lewis Carroll. This is kind of like a sequel to Alice in Wonderland, and I have never actually read What Alice Found There, but I have read Through the Looking Glass. To my understanding, they're 2 different things, but they could be the exact same thing. I don't know. But I am really interested in reading this. I read Through the Looking Glass like years ago, and it was kind of like I wasn't mature enough to really comprehend the story, so I'm very excited to hopefully be able to read this very soon. I think this is one I'm definitely going to be picking up soon, and hopefully I will love it as much as I love Alice in Wonderland. The next book I ended up picking up is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. This is a sequel slash prequel sort of to Kill a Mockingbird. This is the 2nd book she's ever published, and to my understanding it's what To Kill a Mockingbird would have been, but the publisher wanted her to do something different. So she ended up putting this one aside and just rewriting To Kill a Mockingbird, and she finally got to publish this. So I am very excited to have this. I've wanted to read it ever since I heard it was going to be a thing. It was really cheap at this bargain store, and I was like, I have to have this, so I got it, and I'm so excited to read this. But it's not going to be for a while because I really want to take my time with it and not worry about all the other books I should be reading. So it's going to be when my TBR is down a little bit, but I'm very excited to eventually read this. The next book I ended up picking up is Popular by Maya Van Wagenen. This is a book I picked up from a bargain store, and it's one I've been interested in for a while, but I just never really got a chance to. It's a memoir, it's nonfiction, and I just don't read a lot of nonfiction, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how this girl approaches popularity. And she actually just did like an experiment where she found this 1950s popularity guide, and she ended up applying it to her own life. This is the results, so I think it's really just attacking a lot of different topics. So I am very excited to read this hopefully soon. The next book I ended up picking up is Out of the Easy by Ruta Sepetys. This is the author of Between Shades of Grey, and I'm forgetting the name of the 2nd book. I've not read Between Shades of Grey, but I've read the 2nd book. Ironically, I don't remember the name of it, but this is like right after Between Shades of Grey. I don't know if it's actual historical fiction, which is traditionally what she writes about. So I have no idea what it's actually about, but I just saw it was by Ruta Sepetys and I got it, and it was cheap. So very excited to have this, and I don't know when I'm going to be reading this, but I might just not read it until next year. I have so many books on my TBR. It's getting kind of ridiculous, but I'm very excited to hopefully get to this soon. Wow, it must be a Tuesday because I forgot a book. Surprise, surprise. But I ended up also receiving The Last Star Burning by Caitlin Singster. It was like the main book in the Page Habit unboxing, which will be up by the time you see this video. And I'm just like really excited to read this because it was annotated by the author. That was something that Page Habit always does because it was curated by the author. So I'm very excited to read this and see what the annotations are like and how it's going to enhance my reading experience. So hopefully I can get to this very soon. This is Future Allie coming at you again because I just did an unboxing and I was going to go ahead and just insert the books I received into my book haul. So I did receive Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. This is the new book in the Throne of Glass series. It is centered around Kale and what he was doing in Empire of Storms, I believe, which I'm not caught up on, but you know, people have been really enjoying this, so I'm hoping I can catch up with the Throne of Glass series and get into this one. I also received Before She Ignites by Jodi Meadows, and I have really been wanting to read this because it features a woman of color. It's about dragons. It has bisexual reps, so like I'm very excited to read this. It's been at the top of my TBR for like forever, so I'm very excited to read this. I also received Warcross by Marie Lu. This is another book that's been on my TBR for a while, ever since I heard it was going to be a thing. Everyone's been raving about it, so I'm very excited to get into it. I honestly don't even know anything about it, and I'm planning on keeping it that way and just going in blind because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. Now, we can go back to past Allie. So, let's do this. And there you have it. Those were all the books in the second part of my book haul. That is going to be it for this video today. So thank you all so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.